Buckle up, it's the Insurance Dudes podcast.
Do you build a page out on there too?
No. I link my own website on there, so you can create that and create your own traffic that way.
Okay.
And then so you can do that, and then obviously there is a component to do Google My Business and stuff, or to do Google AdWords too. But for the most part, if you treat that as a social media page, do posts, do videos, do things like that. You're golden. You're going to be able to see the traffic. So
I gave a bunch of the team just give them manager access and say, just take pictures and post them. Take pictures of each other, take pictures at work, say, I'm just down here, working, eating lunch, whatever. But it starts putting the pictures, and it's crazy. Like, some of these pictures get thousands of views.
Yeah.
And Google likes that, right? So the algorithm is going to start pushing it up to the top.
Exactly.
And looking at mine, like, our search views is up 34%, 402 views. This is the smaller office. And then map views up 53%. So it's rewarding because we're posting pictures,
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah. No,
and then that phone number comes across, right?
Yeah. You can look at people's, other business types and see what they have on there. And most of them is a picture of a dumpster, right? Is like they have the parking lot and they have the picture of a dumpster, right? I'm like,
so awesome.
Are you going to click on that? I'm not going to click on that. I'm going to click on one that I
want to go to the dumpster.
That I could see their staff and their reviews and any posts that they might do. I'm gonna click on that one, right? So
sure.
So no, that's been huge, and even Google Maps and stuff too. Making sure that shows up on your maps too. So it's pretty neat. So
yeah, little quick side tip, and I'm killing you. I'm sorry.
No,
is the COVID update? There's a COVID update.
Mm-hmm.
And in that, there's an actual call now. It appears about 70% of the time, I would guess, but you can it's like a click to call. So if you status, you can put whatever you want in the COVID update. So we'll put something fun in there, but then it has call now. So just a little, Google's probably going to put me to the bottom of the pile now. I'm sorry, Google. I'm just kidding. But yeah.
Well, something else I found on there too was they had a mask required and different things like that for safety, because obviously people still have the safety conscience in mind, right? Too,
sure.
Especially if like for our office, we get a lot of walk-in business, but so that's an option that we did also. So there's a lot of different things that you can do on it. So also too, if you ever do see something on your listing, on your Google listing, you can also send, there's a place on there, I can't remember exactly where, but you can update it. So like if something's not correct, you have to email Google and report it. But no, it's pretty neat. I really love using Google My Business. I think it's one of those things where a lot of agencies just don't know about it, right?
Yeah.
They don't know how to add the request for quote button on the screen. There's a lot of little things, right? Yeah, it's money.
That's what we talked about in the elite group a couple of weeks ago, and it's just one of those funny things. Like, you don't really think about it unless it's somebody kind of brings it up, and then when you do it, it's like, I can't believe that I didn't have that button, like a simple button to request. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because these people are searching Google, so it's like
yeah.
And you get them, like we get them.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah. No, it's all free, right? That platform's free. You can see. We average probably around 70 calls every month on that. So obviously some are probably service and stuff like that, but that's where all of our call-in stuff comes from. So
70 they're going to get, who couldn't use an extra 70 calls, even
70
if you're doing other stuff.
Yeah.
And they'll get the best service over there. So
yeah. At least that's what I see in the videos. That's what I hear in the videos. I haven't been over there. So like, okay, here's a good question. Well, I rated my own question before I asked it, but here's a great question. Let's say
it's a good one.
If you so you came in 3 years ago. If you just came in now, what advice would you give to yourself as far as marketing? what would be the first few steps that you would advise yourself to take?
First, I would learn how to do a Wufoo form or some type of form.
Yeah.
So do some type of form. No, but I think learn. I mean, there's so many platforms, so many places that you can go to do it. But I think just learning Facebook. Obviously, people are going to say Facebook is dead for lead generation, but you could still get leads off of that. Learn Google AdWords. Spend some time in there. You don't have to run 20 ads, but do one ad, right? Do one or two ads, a home and auto ad, right? If you do a home and auto ad, learn that. And then I think from a marketing standpoint, just be consistent and post daily. Post daily if you could, right? Come up with your own niche. Who do you want to reach? And come up with something that's your own, about who's your personality, somebody will connect to it.
So
awesome.
you're running Google AdWords for
Yep.
home and auto.
Yeah. So I've had one consistently for a while already. So yeah. So
Wow. I mean, aren't you competing against Geico, Progressive, State Farm, Allpoint, and like other ones?
Yeah. So we've changed it up a bit. This year we've done our own kind of website, so we're trying to kind of gain some higher rankings on that.
Yeah.
So we're not piggybacking off of
Okay.
the company and stuff, but yeah. So but yeah, no, I mean you are competing a little bit, but you have to manage it, right? You have to manage it. And it's it's not that expensive, maybe
Right.
a couple $100 a month to have some traffic and to have some SEO where you're gaining some clout on your website and stuff. But I mean, even you could even do a landing page, a simple landing page too, and have it, have one ad right off of that. I mean, I'm not a big proponent of click to calls on the Google AdWords, but I do like doing landing pages instead, because you get a higher intent customer if they're going to go to your landing page. So I like doing that better. But yeah, no, I've run them consistently. We're doing life ad right now, a life insurance ad, with some video and stuff like that. But I mean, for the most part, I mean, it's just very simple, not overthinking it.
Yeah, I think that's the problem, right? That's the problem with video is I think people overthink it and they might do some sort of cheesy picture that's like clip art, right? And then it's like they don't get a good response, and it's like, dude, you're not really showing any personality or anything.
Yeah, no, you have to. And I mean, and obviously, people are going to watch the videos and stuff, and they may not necessarily click the link to fill out a form or do something like that. But then you can also retarget, right? You can retarget them too, the people that have visited those landing pages. So with a pixel or do something with it, so you can do something like that with it. So, but yeah, I mean, it just kind of, that's the biggest thing. Just kind of keep it simple, but you have to learn the platforms. Even if you end up having somebody else do it for you, in the end, I would do like a training course. There's plenty of them out there that you can join, and learn. That's how I learn, by doing it hands on, and then like, all right, I don't want to do this. I'm going to pay somebody else to do this, so
yeah,
type of thing, but no, it's good just to kind of learn the business behind it, right? So
yeah, it's good to know how that thing works, like where the traffic goes and what traffic is and what a pixel is and what retargeting is. I mean, without knowing that, then you're just throwing money and anybody could tell you anything, right? So
yeah.
I bet you there's somebody listening right now that doesn't know what a pixel is and doesn't know what retargeting is. Like, make it so easy that a 4-year-old could understand. That one of Jason's kids can understand it when they hear it.
Yeah. So you go onto YouTube and you click an ad on YouTube, and they click on it. You go to it. You watch 3 minutes of 30 seconds of the video. It's going to show up on your feed later.
There you go.
On your YouTube page or
Retargeting.
Facebook page. That's retargeting. So like, oh yeah, I saw this video earlier while I was, waiting for my Chipotle in line, and then
Yeah.
and then and then like, oh yeah, that makes sense. What they said. I'm gonna go back and click it, or oh, here he is. Here he is again.
Yep.
That's interesting that, everybody says that the Google's listening to us and hitting us with ads based on what we're talking about. But
Yeah.
we may be reading something that they're able to target very easily, or watching something, because we're doing stuff all day long, right? And they know that we engaged with a certain post just by slowing down, right? They
Oh
know
yeah.
we've engaged. So I think that's probably more likely. I don't know. Are they
Yeah,
listening?
no, there's words in your ad that are on the web page that are linked together that it just goes, it's a rabbit hole. Like Jason said, we're it's so complicated and deep when you really get into it, right? So, but yeah, no, it's definitely good to learn. Good to learn. But that's why you pay other people to do it, but it's good to learn as an agent to know where it goes, right? So
Yeah.
You don't know what you don't know. So like you got to at least know what to look for.
yeah. No, it's just part of the team, right? It's part of the team. So, are you drinking beer?
No, I don't drink.
I'm
It's
just kidding.
it's kombucha.
I
It's
just I,
actually
I had a
tea.
I had a craving for a beer when you did that, dude. So
Well, you can have one. That's fine. I don't care about that.
I know.
Kombucha.
Oh,
GG
funny.
Dave.
yeah, no, but it's really, really, really important just to kind of learn. And other things too, right? You have to learn it before so you could teach it to somebody else, right? That's what replication in our business, right? You teach somebody, you learn how to quote and the way you like to, quote, and then you train somebody else to do it, and then it just multiplies, right? So that's the key to run a successful business, right? And to find the people that are better at a certain thing than you are, right? So I mean, obviously that's a hard task because we have high standards as business owners, right? So we have really high standards. So, but you're gonna find those people when you train them and you look at their strengths too, So same thing with marketing companies. You gotta, all right, this is what it's gonna be, right? This is what it's gonna be. I'm okay with that, right? So I know the ins and outs and what they're doing and how they're marketing and where they're getting the leads from, but I'm okay with that, right? So because I don't want to do it. So,
Right.
How long do you go down a certain path with a certain marketing strategy, spend until you eject? Because I know you don't do it for a week and then say this doesn't work, right? Like, how long do you use before you decide that it's not performing?
yeah, I usually do like a 3 month to
Yeah.
6 month rule. So on different things. So I mean, obviously mailers, those type of things like that. That's going to be more long term. But I mean, for marketing strategies, I usually do 3 to 6 months on different lead sources to kind of test them out. Like I've done like chat bots and stuff like that, and different things like that. So but it's one of those things where it's like, okay, like I'm not really getting that many leads off of doing a chatbot, and I'm spending this amount of time doing it. So it's like, yeah, like it's not worth it, right? In the end. So
Although it seems fun, it
it is
seems
fun. It is fun, and
yeah.
like, yeah, it is fun. Just all the workflows and how, yeah, it's just crazy. Yeah. So
It's one of those rabbit holes that we were talking about earlier.
yeah. No, I mean, honestly, if I wasn't selling insurance, I would probably be doing something in marketing, to be honest with you. So, just doing, and a lot of agents do that, right? A lot of agents do that. So yeah, it's definitely fun, a fun part of the side of the business. So
It is. Well, what I like about what I've heard, I mean, you've had multiple things that you've had your hands in, marketing wise, and you try out a ton of different things, and you're not looking for the silver bullet. You're like, you get it. You know that you have to do multiple things, and you're constantly not ejecting before giving it a good shot. what advice would you give to people as far as that goes? Because I know when I first started spending, it was like, oh my gosh, like you don't see an immediate return. So it's like, what you're doing with the videos, that is time. Like, this is what people are thinking. It's so time consuming. And especially if you're not going to put a form out there, it's like, well, then I'm not going to get any leads. Well, if I'm not going to be video, if I don't get leads, and then not to mention the spend and all this money going out, what advice would you give to that agent? Because I feel like I was that agent at one point.
Yeah. No, that's a good point. I think for me, I have like a top 5. I have a top 5 lead sources, and it's different it's different every month. Whether it be telemarketers, whether it be, when walk-ins, when we had a lot of walk-ins or call-ins or mailers, whatever it is. So just really track your core top 5. For like a newer agent or somebody that's barely starting out, I would probably narrow that down to like probably 3, maybe like a top 3 lead source, and just really kind of invest and monitor and calculate your cost per sale and everything like that, and be on top of those metrics. So another thing too is not just narrowing your target audience and like who you want to market to, like, for example, like zip codes and different things like that, like knowing where your sales are coming from, right? So I'm not going to market all to Colorado if my main zip codes are, the 5 that are next to me, right? So I'm going to kind of, narrow in there. So top 3, and then just build out as you grow, right? Keep those consistent, and then build out another lead source. Spend a little money on chatbots, spend a little money on, any type of automation thing, emails or email blast or whatever, that you want to do. So you just kind of, you use those other resources just to kind of, test out different things and see how it goes, so,
Yeah.
but you need to have top 3 at least.
Yeah. Well, there's so many things to do. There's so many ways to skin the cat. And I think that you need to pick something that you enjoy, right? If you're gonna do marketing, you got to pick something you like, and align with that, and then stick it out. That's what I'm hearing, right? Like you got 3 to 6 months. You got to spend. You have to probably spend a little bit more than you're comfortable spending, but there's ways to do that because you're gonna get it back. You're gonna get it back as long as you stick with it. There's gonna be some duds along the way, right? But that's just part of business. Making those bets, you're making those bets, and hopefully they're mitigated by some level of knowledge. They're not just shooting blind. But I mean, I love the 3 things. I think in the front end, you probably something a little bit more immediate, right? Like you're not going to go, all right, mailers are my thing. If you have to write business now, then mailer is not the way to go, right? That's going to take a little time, but it's going to get results. It's going to get results down the road. But you also have to be ready to spend, huh? And you're a big proponent of the you've had some success with the mailers.
Yeah. No, I mean, if you work that in tandem with telemarketing, having a telemarketing team and being able to, to follow up and make sure that you have some type of process. I mean, everything has to have a process, right? It can't just be, I'm gonna throw, a couple grand at, some lead vendors, right? And see what happens, right? It's not going to happen, right? So you have to have some type of strategy, right? So definitely there's different ways to kind of look at it, but it has to be, whether it's your sales training also, right? So you have to have that as part of it too, right? So it's a big component of it. So you can have all the leads you want, but if you don't have the right people that are quoting these people, then I mean, you're throwing money out the window. So
yeah, and quoting different sources is different. Quoting an internet lead versus quoting a call in from a mailer, 2 different things.
Yeah.
I mean, and so those people need to be trained too. I mean, I would say the majority of my time in the agency is just coaching the people. That's the best use of the time, because I get a multiple. There's 10 of them. Coaching 10 people, that you stack it, and then now they're going to get results. But if you don't coach them, right?
Yeah. No, like, I mean, I heard a little bit of the podcast before, the Elite Dudes one, and I having a team meeting and doing those things like that and coaching around your lead sources and knowing, having your staff knowing like what you're spending. I mean, not exactly what you're spending, but like, hey, you know, like I'm investing in these leads, right? So they know it's an investment in them too, right? Not just, you know, not, you know, so that's important. So
and I've actually been, I'll tell my team exactly how much I'm spending, because it's like it's like crazy. It's like, this is I'm invested, and I say the same thing. I'm investing in you, you're investing in me. So we need to have a good communication between this. Like, if you're going to take a day off, like, you got to let me know ahead of time, because I'm investing in leads and I want to be able to give you the right stuff. You know what I mean? And pull back when you need to be pulled back, and push forward when you want to be pushed forward, so that at the end of the day, you and I both win. But you gotta be on the same page. Like, otherwise it can go awry.
Does Jason get angry if 4 people are out and there's still 500 leads coming in? You know, I mean, it's just like, what?
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
well, that's the worst thing. The phone ringing and nobody's there to pick it up, right?
Yeah. And it happens. That's the thing. Like, these things are gonna happen. Like, if you think that it's not gonna happen and you want the world to work perfectly, then go somewhere else. Go teach yoga, because it's not gonna. This isn't gonna work here, right? There's gonna be the day where everybody's gone, and maybe you blow a gasket, because that's what happens to me. But I also then you adjust. You have to adjust. You know.
Yeah. No, that's key. That's key. The adjustment and being able to pivot and be able to change. I mean, that's the beautiful thing about being a small business owner, is that, you know, even if we're with a captive agency or a captive company, that we can still have the opportunity to change things in our agency, right? So it's like the things we can't worry about, you know, if systems aren't working right? We still need to produce, right? I can't control that, right? It's the golden rule, right? Control what you can control, you know? So, it's all about attitude and having a good time, you know?
Love it.
So,
I think that exhausts so many questions.
It was freaking
Craig,
awesome.
you got another one.
No, I don't. What I'm going to do is I'm going to say, so when people have a client who's going to move to Colorado, especially all the people moving there from California right now, I know that my sister and her family just moved there. Yeah, my sister and her whole family just moved there right before all the fire stuff. Yeah, or they move here. So they're moving either here or your place. How can they find you? Is there a number they should call for the office, or just Google you? What do they do?
If you Google me, then I'll pop up probably top 5 there.
There you go. That SEO is working.
Yeah. See, posting on Google My Business is worth it, bro.
Yeah.
So it helps 100%.
out.
So everybody listening to this, you have to Google Martin Amador in Colorado, and he's gonna pop up, and you can see all the videos, and it's pretty cool. So give him some extra traffic.
Yeah. Share those videos for him.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Well, thank you for coming and joining. We love it. I'm glad that the power didn't go out this time, and
I know.
So, this is perfect.
Yeah.
Awesome.
For sure.
Awesome, Matt.
Thanks,
we'll see you
guys.
next time.
All right. Bye.
It's the insurance dudes. Don't turn it off, man, that'd really be rude. We're dropping knowledge on the radio, so just turn it up.
So we put together a little webinar from all the things that we've learned, right?
Yeah, totally. I love it. It was a lot of fun doing it, putting it together, and there's some really good stuff in there.
Yes.
What did we learn?
So we learned how to sell hundreds of thousands of premium a month using any internet leads, and this is based on a whole bunch of big dudes selling ton of premium a month, like over $1 million.
Yeah, and it eliminates that turnover, right? The staff doesn't get burned out.
It does. It creates predictable sales. Like, whoa, right?
Well, and we also learned how we can copy the processes of the big, giant, fastest growing P&C carriers and the big local agents.
Yep.
That was a lot of fun.
So it was fun. We put it together. It's on a website. Go to love.dudettes, love.teledudes.com. That's love.teledudes.com.
How do you spell like that on the fly, Mr. Jason?
Well, it took me some practice, but it's love.teledudes.com.
You are good at that. So
that
let me
good?
get this straight. It's love, Love, teledudes.com.
Love.teledudes.com. Ooh.
I love that.
I love it too. I surprised you too, Mr. Craig. You didn't know.
Tricked me.
Wait, do they even listen to this on the radio anymore?
I love it. I love it.
Nice.
All
right.